Hi guys! So it's been over 2 weeks and I've been using the Pro 3 as my daily driver, and today I'll be sharing my final thoughts on this device. To quickly sum it all up, it has won me over, after a few tweaks that is. As I briefly mentioned last week, the first thing I did was install the Google Now Launcher, and that's right here as you see. The Google Now Launcher is basically the default Android launcher on most phones that are Nexus, Pixel, or Motorola. However, if you have like a Samsung Galaxy, you'll notice that they'll have a slightly different launcher. The Pro 3 and its little brother, the S3, come with a heavy skin called the EUI. Many of the background features of this UI are great and benefit the phone, such as the application manager that automatically closes unnecessary tasks and applications to prolong battery life and free up memory to increase performance. However, the main visual element of the EUI is a bit of a hindrance as it removes access to the app drawer and moves around some key Android features. The main appeal of the EUI skin is to provide quick access to Lee Iacocca's Lay TV app, but with limited content at the current moment, I do not see the appeal of losing a key feel and function of the Android OS just for a quick access to an app that we could just put on the home screen as a shortcut. Luckily, as mentioned earlier, that we can quickly fix and erase this drawback by downloading the Google Now Launcher from the Play Store and downloading the using the Play Store. You download it, you just go into the Play Store, you type in Google Now Launcher, and you install it, and it just removes the little Lee Iacocca, which right here would normally be the Lee Iacocca TV app, but as soon as you install the Google Now Launcher, it removes that, goes back to full app drawer access, and it pretty much makes it look more like a basic Android device. As a primary Mac and iOS user, I also installed the Apple Music app, as seen right down here. And I also installed the AllConnect and AllCast, AllCast applications, which basically allow me to stream YouTube, my photos, videos, and music to my Apple TV. And both work perfectly fine, but I prefer the AllConnect to AllCast, but it's really a matter of preference. Screen mirroring Android devices to Apple TV using apps such as Mirroring 360 is a bit of a cat and mouse game. As soon as the developers get the mirroring to work, Apple will update the Apple TV and remove the compatibility. However, I was still able to mirror using my LG TV Smart app that was pre-installed. And you can also get a Chromecast device for about $20 to $30. And so between that and smart TVs existing, it's pretty much a non-issue with mirroring. The Android device here comes with version 6 Marshmallow, which is just about what every new Android device currently ships with. This is not including the new Google Pixel line, which launched with version 7. Google usually gives their priorities to their in-house devices over other manufacturers. But with manufacturers like Samsung currently getting version 7 updates, I expect this phone to get updated to Nougat, which is version 7.0, relatively soon. In the 2 weeks that I've been using the Pro 3, I received 2 system updates, which included behind-the-scenes tweaks and improvements, so it's apparent to me that Lee Iacocca is on top of the updates and support for this device. I haven't had any software crashes or reboots while using the device daily, and every application I downloaded has run smoothly and launched flawlessly. Now, 64 gigabytes comes standard. I assume this is to make up for the lack of a micro SD slot. The Pro 3 also comes unlocked with GSM support for all bands, and this means that T-Mobile, AT&T, Metro, PCS, Cricket, and other GSM carriers will work with this device. However, Verizon and Sprint are not supported at the moment, unfortunately. There might be a version of the phone coming out in the future, but as of now, those two are not supported. Bloatware is at a minimum and mostly just includes the Lay TV and Lee Iacocca applications, and that's kind of nice to see because most Android phones come with a lot of bloatware out of the box, and it's nice to see that this device does not. The included fingerprint sensor is on the back of the device, and this is becoming a standard placement for fingerprint sensors on Android devices. It works quickly and accurately, but coming from an iPhone, the placement can take some getting used to, but over time I prefer the sensor to the back. To having it on the front. I do prefer the back sensor. Now, performance on this device, as mentioned earlier, is incredible. It uses the latest Snapdragon 821 CPU with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and nothing I've done on this device has slowed it down. After 2 weeks of use, with about 25% of my storage filled and leaving most of my main apps open, I still have absolutely no lag or stuttering. The phone has a top-of-the-line Adreno graphics chip which runs every game smoothly without frame rate issues. Battery performance is stunning. I never worry about charging during the day. If I charge it when I go to bed and use it all day, I'll have about 25% or more battery life remaining by the time the day's over. And just to clarify, this is all-day phone use, which for me is a lot. Not only do I use the phone all day for emails, texts, and phone calls, but usually about a combined hour of Pokemon Go, which we all know is a battery hog, 2 hours of streaming radio or music, an hour for gaming combined, about a combined hour of web browsing, and usually an hour of YouTube before bed. So pretty much I use this constantly, daily, in some form or the other. And having a quarter of my battery remaining by the end of the day after using my phone as much as I do is pretty amazing. And this is due to the phone having a pretty large 4,000 milliamp per hour battery, which charges under 2 hours over USB-C. Now the Pro 3 includes dual speakers which are supported by Dolby Atmos technology. They are sharp and sound amazing when playing games or watching videos. It's a nice change after years of using mono speakers on just about every smartphone I have owned this far. The stock volume isn't the loudest I've heard on some phones, but the dual speaker setup and the software give them a higher quality of sound that I've heard before on other phones. There are options to remove the volume limiter, but if you choose to do this, do it at your own risk because it could damage your speakers over time. The included headphones, however, are incredible as well. They are shaped very similar to Apple's EarPods, as I've shown before. And I love the Apple EarPods. And I have to say that the ones included with this phone are better than those. The exclusion of the 3.5mm headphone jack, which, you know, seems to be kind of the way everything's going these days, is a bit of a bummer. However, the included USB-C adapter that comes with the phone makes up for it a little bit. I expect by this time next year, though, most phones won't have a 3.5mm headphone jack, unfortunately, because you're already seeing manufacturers like Motorola and Apple excluding it from their latest flagship devices. So I'm thinking that we're probably moving away from that, unfortunately, but in my daily use, this wasn't really that big of a deal. I thought it would be. One of my cars, however, has Bluetooth and USB support, and then the other car that doesn't, I just leave a little adapter that came with the phone with my auxiliary cable, and haven't really noticed a big issue. At night when I go to charge it, if I want to listen to music, I either just use the built-in speakers or my Bluetooth headphones. So I really haven't been in a situation where the exclusion of the jack has restricted me. But I would suggest purchasing some Bluetooth headphones, but probably not the Apple ones that cost $160. Strangely enough, this has made me feel better about the iPhone 7's lack of headphone jack, although I have read that their adapter does degrade the audio quality slightly. I have not noticed any degrading audio quality, though, with this included adapter. Now, build quality, as I mentioned in our first video, is amazing. This pretty much feels like an Apple device, and it can be mistaken very easily for an Apple device. It comes with an aluminum, basically an aluminum, a metal and aluminum enclosure with no seams, no gaps, and absolutely no bending like you would see on a plastic phone. It comes with Gorilla Glass 3. I always have a hard time saying that. And basically, it also comes with a, basically it comes with a screen protector out of the box, so you don't have to worry about that, because those are such a pain to install. So that was a really nice feature. And it comes with a case in the box too, which when I first saw the case, you may recall that we were making fun of it because it looked pretty weak. But after a couple of uh-ohs this week in dropping the phone, it actually has held up and protected the phone completely from getting any scratches or damage. So the included case may be enough for most people. The screen quality is amazing. It's at 1080p and uses an IPS display, which spec-wise is similar to the iPhone 7 Plus. Leaco gives you 4 color options for the display, with Vivid standing out the most. Side by side with my iPhone 6 Plus, with the default color mode on the Pro 3, the iPhone 6s does win out slightly. But once I turn on Vivid Mode on the Pro 3, the colors are better on the Pro 3. So once you tweak the screen and change the mode, it does perform better than the iPhone 6 Plus. However, I don't have an iPhone 7 Plus to compare it to. Camera quality is pretty good. The device comes with a 16 megapixel Sony sensor on the back and also a 8 megapixel sensor on the front. Patrick's going to go ahead and play with that while I read the rest of my review. Good there. You can't really see it on camera, unfortunately. It's really hard to see a good shot. But basically what I have to say, though, is the main camera provides sharp daytime photos with good color saturation and image stabilization. The HDR mode provides amazing color and detail to the 60 megapixel sensor, which does provide pretty sharp detail. The camera does lose some points with me when it comes to indoor dark photos. It can be difficult to take good indoor shots if the room isn't lit well. But however, this is an issue that just about every smartphone I've ever used has. However, in comparison with my iPhone 6s camera, indoor low light shots do come out a little worse. This is by no means a deal breaker and hopefully can be fixed with a software update. The front-facing cameras have never been fantastic on any device, but this one performs fairly standard compared to other devices. My selfies come out clear and detailed the first time, and the front camera does seem to have some sort of image stabilization as well. I have yet to see a smeared selfie. The front camera is lacking some form of flash, such as a software option like you see on the iPhone, or a built-in light like you see on a very few handful of devices. If I had to rate the cameras on this phone on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7.5, with the Galaxy S7 series being at 8.5 and the iPhone 6 and 7 series being at a 9. The cameras are better than what you would see on low-end and many mid-range Android devices, but not quite up to the $650 plus flagship leaders. The camera does compete favorably, though, to many other flagship Android phones that cost several $100s more. So my final thoughts on this device is this. At $399, this phone is impressive. At the weekly discounted price of $299, this phone is simply unbelievable. This phone is faster than the latest $650 plus flagship Android devices out there, including the new Pixel XL, which it shares the same processor. It has a better battery life than any flagship phone currently on the market. Its aluminum design and build quality is right up there with Apple. It has a generous 64 gigabytes of storage, which is very generous, like I mentioned. It includes many accessories that you would normally need to buy separately, and comes with a standard 2-year warranty. It's apparent that Leeco wants to wow you and earn your business. It's the same marketing philosophy that Vizio, the company now owned by Leeco, used over a decade ago to climb on top of the television market. And it's a breath of fresh air in a market of exploding batteries and companies who are courageous enough to raise prices and remove features. It is no secret that Leeco wants to dominate. It already does in its home country of China with its leading market share. If they continue to add content to their American Late TV service, if they continue to push their products such as the Pro 3 to more retail channels and improve on them while undercutting the competition, they could dethrone not only Samsung and Netflix, but perhaps even Apple. That is my review. Please leave a comment below. If you have any questions, leave a comment. We'll get right back to you if you have any questions about the phone. And that is all. Thank you for joining us.